What's cracking, YouTubers? This is two dudes in an old school. Yeah, you heard it right. Two dudes in an old school. We up in here in the 87 Cadillac. And just want to give you a little rundown on our show, because this is our first show. We want to talk about the biggest issue that's going on around the whole world, not just in the US, but the whole world. And we want to show that how me and my man Jay get along for so many years and have different opinions at that, and just let you know that there's no color that comes between us. At that. And like I said, this is my man Jay, and he's going to introduce himself here in a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and just start it off by saying my name is Jay also, so it's Jay and Jay. That's how we're going to get down here in the old school. So I'm from Southeast, Show Me State. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just let y'all know I'm from a segregated area. When I grew up, you know, like there's still an all-black high school still standing where I live. Or where I used to live, fighting racism all my life. So, and then when I got to college, I met this guy, and then my whole world was changed around. Let Jay go ahead and take over and tell him where he's from, a little bit about him, while I get my little drink on.
Nice. So my name's Jay. I'm also from Missouri. I grew up here, lived my whole life in a little small country town. One thing that I found interesting about where I grew up was that almost everybody looked like me. Not everybody was as tall or short or whatever, but we all kind of looked the same. When I say that, I say that there was not a lot of diversity where I came from. Whenever I first moved to college, as Jay was saying earlier, it was life-changing. I was able to open my eyes to a whole new world that I had never known before about just simple diversity and how things could be different than the way I grew up for the first 19 years of my life.
So, speaking of college, all you youngsters out there, I would advise it if you are not one of those famous YouTubers or whatever. Go to college.
Here's some statistics.
Right. So go to college, because it's the best experience in your life, and you have a great time. Tell you a story how we met in college. 1995. Yes, I know we're old. We was freshmen. Me and my roommate, he was from the same hometown I was, and he was like, man, there's two white dudes that stays right here behind us, man, and I heard they got some pizza, because, you know, college students are hungry.
Always hungry.
Right? So we always starving because we ain't got no money. So we was like, well, let's go around there and see if they got any more left. So we went around there, and then we've been friends ever since 1995. And there it is, 2020.
Moral of the story, food can bring people together.
That is true.
Especially pizza.
Right?
Pizza brought us together.
Yeah,
so,
that is true.
It's an interesting piece there.
It is good.
Food.
Speaking about the beginning, my man Jay is going to tell you how the beginning started. And you know, life always started in Africa, so we're gonna we're gonna get on that. So we might as well get into it right now. Let's get it cracking.
All right. I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about our DNA and a particular gene called the MC1R. And I'm going to keep this short, but I just want everybody to remember, if you want to Google this, just Google MC1R. There's a great article on the NIH.gov about this. But anyway, MC1R is the gene that sends the signal to the receptor on the melanocyte. Okay. And with this particular receptor, what it does, whenever it stimulates, it determines whether that melanocyte is going to create eumelanin or p-melanin. Now that seems pretty simple. The interesting part is eumelanin is what causes a darker skin tone, and p-melanin or pheomelanin is what causes a lighter skin tone. And the way that this is predicted is by the amount of sun that your body is absorbing. Man started out in its early days in Africa along the equator. The sun was very hot, so the skin had to adapt. So the MC1R gene sent a signal to the melanocyte to tell it to create eumelanin. As humans, slowly started to move across and away from the equator, that same MC1R gene sent a signal to the melanocyte to tell it to make pheomelanin, which would then allow the reduction in the color of the skin so that they could absorb the sunlight and get the vitamin D they needed to survive.
So you're talking about the vitamin D to make you survive in the sun?
Yeah, so whenever the melanocyte changes its signal and starts passing out more pheomelanin, it actually creates the lighter skin, which allows our sun to absorb that vitamin D that we need.
Because we got darker skin because of the fact that back then we didn't have sunscreen.
Right.
So our body adapted.
So the first early humans on Earth had a darker skin because they were along the equator and they needed that to be able to survive. So with all that sun, they were still getting a lot of vitamin D, so their skin got darker to protect them from the UV rays, and how we know now that causes skin cancer whenever you get too much sunlight if you don't have the proper protection. It's really interesting, and this is the part that got me the most, is to think that there's one gene, the MC1R gene, and the signal that it sends that determined the color of our skin. But yeah, our whole world, in every culture across the whole world, has a thing about the color of people's skins. Like Jay said, it's not just here in the US, it's in every country. Everywhere you go, people are judged by the lightness or the darkness of their skin. And to think that it's one gene that's controlling that is just amazing to me. We can have so much divide over something as simple as that one gene decided to make in eumelanin or pheomelanin.
That a trip. That just lets you know that we're all the same.
Yep.
I mean, even in South America, they even trip on the different colors of skin. You shouldn't be judged by your skin. You should be judged by your heart.
I'll second that.
Especially your heart and your mind. I mean, come on. Skin, that should get played out now in the pool anymore. It should just be judged by the heart. And I think that's how it should be. But we will still be hung up on the color of the skin. And as my man Jay just explained, that he broke it down that we're all one. So all of our bones, what color are they?
White.
Thank you.
All of our blood?
Red. I mean, that's easy as that right there. I mean, easy as that. But we want to judge because of the color of the skin. Why? I mean, having this guy as a friend has been wonderful.
Amen to that.
And it's just could have judged him, especially where I came from. I mean, like I said, I came from a place where you was segregated. Like if you was out certain time after midnight and you wasn't across the bricks, then you was gonna get harassed. Growing up in grade school, fighting every day because of my mom moved me across town to get a better education. So I mean, it's just like it's crazy. So I could have grew up bitter all the time, but you shouldn't be that way because life is too short. I mean, you got to give people a chance first. And then if they're that way, then that's that way. I mean, that's their business. You just move on. I mean, you're not going to change anybody's mind. We're not trying to change anybody's mind either. We're just trying to educate the people that want to be educated and that has issue with races and want to know what about races and the different types of races. I mean, that's all we're about. We're about here to educate and let you know that you should be comfortable around anybody that is different than you.
Yep. Always try to find a common ground with someone. You know, try to be open. And I know this is sounding something like maybe out of a psychology book or something, but you never know what someone else has went through, right? You never know someone else's past, so don't be quick to judge. Because nobody here likes to be judged. So we all got to remember that we need to treat each other the way we want to be treated.
So we was going to show you a few things about, I'll probably show you on the end of this video of what we're talking about, of the equator. And then the map that we'll probably show at the end of this video. Types of shades was when it started out, when life started out. That way I'll give you a little bit more easier what he was talking about. It's just one thing that is different in our body. That's it. It's not our brains. We all got the same brain.
Right. Right.
Hopefully you like our show. Hopefully you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and hopefully you'll let our show grow, because we will like to talk about a lot of things. I hope you comment below and let us know about what we should talk about next also. Like, we would love to hear to see what y'all want to talk about, or anything that you want to know. Just hit us up. I mean, like, we're not just super experts, but we'll let you know from our experience. And we had a lot of experience in our lives.
We've seen a few, right?
Yeah, because we played basketball in our days, and we went to different parks, had different altercations also.
Yep.
So we've been there, done that. Like I said, hopefully you like this video. If you don't, then don't like it at all then. But Don't be hating on the people that want to learn, because that's all we're here for. So thanks for watching our show, Two Dudes in an Old School.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all don't think my old school still works? It works. Let's see. One time.
Nice.
It still works. But anything you want to say?
All right, hey, we wanted to say real quick, thank you very much for watching our first episode. We hope you like it. And as we go out the door, we want to leave you with one challenge. This challenge is our first challenge to everybody who watches. Our challenge is try to go 1 week without using the color of another person's skin to describe them to someone. I know it sounds tough, but just give it a try and see if you can do it.
Yeah, like if you're in traffic or something, somebody cuts you off. Just say, man, why that guy cut me off, instead of saying, man, why this white guy cut me off?
Yep.
Just say, why this guy cut me off, man? Just try not to use the color. And it's going to be challenging. It's definitely going to be challenging because, there's always that person that's the white Dave and the black Dave. So, so you're just going to be like, Dave, the tall Dave.
Use other descriptive mechanisms to see how you can get through it.
Yep. So thanks for watching Two Dudes in an Old School, and I really hope you do that challenge. And yeah, we're out, man. Peace. Thanks for watching.